Well, I moved to Pitsmoor in 1973.
Yep.
We just worked out, and it was actually already going at that point. It was that kind of bank of land there was quite scrubby and scruffy, and there was a little garden hut on it, and there was a guy called Ken Blake who lived on Catherine's Road, and he and his family had kind of got something going on that bit of spare land. And I think they were there at the weekends and they were doing stuff with kids. He had quite a few kids himself. And it caught our interest and our imagination. So we got involved and started to support him with being there, but also support in terms of we needed to raise some money. It needed equipment, it needed fencing, got it done with a paid worker, those things. So we started getting involved in the fundraising. We did bring a sort of a loose set of values and politics with us that were sort of from the libertarian left, feminist thinking, free schools, adventure play, those sorts of things. A belief in being involved in community and community action, and a belief that living your life was about living your politics. It was about acting it out. It was actually about how you lived your life and how you related to other people and how you engaged with the people around you. It wasn't a theoretical thing. So we kind of brought that with us out of London, headed for the north, and this is where we landed. Yeah, that was 68. Was happening when I was leaving school. I remember that. So it was that time when there was sort of, it felt like anything was possible and the world could be changed, but you had to put yourself into it. The way to do it was to actually how you lived your life and what you did every day was how to bring that about.
So we had a particular slant on the idea of family and children.
Yeah.
So, say in the yard where we lived in Burngreave Bank, there were 3 or 4 families with small children, and there was lots of collective childcare going on, and should we stop?
It's quite good having a nice green salad,
Yeah.
isn't it? All the kids will be really happy.
So, and that link without, the playground was a part of that. The idea that of being involved in making a good place for children and families to be.
Yeah. Because the nuclear family, of course, was a product of patriarchy. So it had to be smashed immediately. And the best way to smash it was to sort of trample all over those family relationships, those sort of traditional family relationships, and say, right, we're all responsible. We're all as grown-ups responsible for all the children. That was the bottom line. It was.
Yeah.
I think that's true. Actually, I think family relationships are important, and they've become more important in my life as time's gone on. But I still think actually that's true. We are all responsible for the next generation.
Play facilities whatsoever, and the land was completely just wasteland, and it had people had scratched for coal there in the Depression and in the Second World War, and so it was just a mess, and so they just started to take it over. It just started off with this guy Ken, and then as others joined in, this guy Roger and his partner at the time, who were both architects, I think, but they'd eschewed that as careers at the time, and they got busy building play equipment and mucking about with the kids.
The bit relating to younger people was important. When I talked a little bit about the sort of our thinking at the time, engaging with young people was important as part of that, and treating them with respect and equality. Kind of, we had more inspiration. We had more we grew up in a world where there was a greater awareness of collective responsibility and the benefits of collective action, and that's been sort of dismantled violently dismantled. But I think it was, I think it was utopian, and I think it still is. I think it's fantastic that the playground is still there and it is still independent. I know that makes it hard work and possibly a bit vulnerable, but I think the spirit of actually we can do things and we can do them well when we do them for ourselves is it's a real embodiment of that, and we do have creativity and we do have resources, and we're not just dependent on the state to tell us what we can or can't do. So there's that positive side, and I think the Adventure Playground is like this beacon really of what can be done and what can be kept going as well. It's great.